that a lot of these teams, if they want to make it to top 8 and make it big, they're going to have to play at such a high, consistent level for hours on end today. So that being said, I mean, we're going to see some incredibly crazy sets with very complex storylines. We're going to see essentially I'm expecting almost like an anime arc today with like there will be some team that will have the epic comeback arc ready to go, and everyone's going to be rooting for them because they're the underdogs. And honestly, it's going to depend on who is going to make it through Redemption and Showdown alive.
Yeah, so we've got Cheetos, Crunchy Cheese, and Coral Crew, team of Purdue players, competing here in this first match. Overall, they're just kind of competing for that neutral. Cheetos, Crunchy Cheese, I think both of these teams are going to be fighting for that second spot in their redemption bracket. So this probably will determine who's going to make it into the next one. Here we go, off into mid. We see Machines trying to do some work in mid and just hold people back, having a little bit of trouble getting double teamed, but is able to land that direct hit. And just overall, a lot of really patient neutral play from both teams. Some snipes, but 2 down on both sides. It's just going back and forth in mid. Neither team can get a big opening on this push.
Right, exactly. That 1 minute of stall of neutral to set up for these possession. Now is the moment for the Cheetos to start initiating and creating momentum for that first checkpoint. We already see here really aggressive gameplay from the Machine here. We see a Booyah at the ready, locked and loaded from Slimy, ready, activated, and going as they breeze right through the first checkpoint.
Yeah, we can see them holding over on that right side. That's Machine up there. Machine with that Booyah Bomb loves to get up far forward and then use that Booyah, which can give you some extra invincibility / armor to stall for an extra long period of time. The Sploosh, a short-range weapon, not able to get out of that situation. This range and that snipe from Red is going to keep this tower moving forward. And Coral Crew just doesn't quite know what to do in this situation.
Right, that was a great kill from Asterum, stopping the Booyah from preventing them from saving their check. 2 and 3 are down on the side of the Cheetos, and the Coral Crew has just held off the Cheetos from potentially knocking them out. Now the Coral Crew has to regain this momentum, reset up in mid, and take back control.
Yeah. You can see that tower like a payload. It's moving slowly along this path. It moves at a set speed pretty much. It moves slightly faster. More people on your team are on it. But when you set it back to neutral, when neither team has possession, it moves very slowly. So if you try and push up ahead, sometimes you can get way too far ahead of the tower and just basically find yourself alone, which is a little bit of what happened there. We can see specials coming out, that killer whale trying to do some damage. A really nice couple of tap shots coming out of Asterum there, holding down this area. But still, the onslaught from Cheetos Crunchy Cheese has been brutal.
Right. The Cheetos had to use a couple of specials there, such as the Booyah Bomb from the Machine, to kind of regain some of that control. So the Coral Crew has a little bit of time to react before the Cheetos create more specials and create more opportunities to potentially knock out this match. We're going to see, though, however, the Cheetos are 2 down, so this is going to delay their push a little bit longer. And thankfully, the Coral Crew is able to hop back on that tower and hopefully make a comeback push.
Yeah, I do like to see Dino on that blaster up around that middle area. I'm a big blaster fanatic myself, and it's very strong around that middle area. But you know what else is strong? Sloshing Machine. It provides a very similar role, and you can kind of see how much work they're doing around this middle area. The entire team needs to stay back, but they get stuck in the Toxic Mist that drains their ink, and they're going to go down. Some very nice usage coming out from Asterum on that bow.
That was fantastic because, like you said, the Machine was such a dangerous threat to all of the players of the Coral Crew. But that doesn't matter because you see Red sniping, getting some quick tap shots and moving the tower just a bit more forward. Warmug hops onto the tower to push it back a bit, and now we're back in the situation with a minute less in the game, and Coral Crew has not had the opportunity to convert and gain some points on the board.
Yeah, you can see that they haven't even taken the tower past mid. You get points as soon as you touch the tower when it's in that middle area, and they have not been able to do that. We can kind of see they've just had a hard time dropping into mid just to even start off here. 1 down on both sides, though, and I would love to see Plan B try and utilize that flank because I don't think they're aware of it I don't think Cheetos are aware of that situation there, and I think that's a very good opportunity to do that. They've kind of ended up dropping in that middle area, and it's gotten them taken out quite a few times. We can see the Splattershot Pro hiding, sharking under that ledge, trying to get people running towards the tower. The Blaster trying to make a last-ditch effort to touch it. The Booyah Bomb's going to wipe that tower out. Astrum's their last hope, and they're going to go down.
Those last 10 seconds were crucial for the Coral Crew to start that comeback push, basically the push of a lifetime. But great reaction by the Cheetos to save those specials just to prevent them from even touching the tower. So it didn't even move. So fantastic special utilization there by the Cheetos to completely ensure and secure their win against the Coral Crew.
Yeah, something really interesting about several specials in this game is that they can kind of provide you like a surefire way to clear the tower, at least for a short period of time. There's Booyah Bomb that does that. There's Triple Ink Strike that does it. I guess Zuka could do it to some extent.
Killer Whale, perhaps?
Killer Whale could do it to a slightly lesser extent. All of those get people off the tower, but they don't instantly win you the game. Because once you clear people off that tower, the tower stops, but it doesn't. You don't lose possession, and the game will still go into overtime and continue if they're able to get back in time. So part of what you need to do with those specials is have teams pushing onto the tower as well. So if you really want to lock people out, you need to have a Booyah Bomb and you need to be close to that tower. And we could see they had set up that situation perfectly.
Exactly. Special utilization, because you can't just rely on that one special to completely secure you a match or a push. It's the combination of the different types of specials to secure you your objective. Now we're moving on into Game 2, Rainmaker, Sturgeon, Shipyard. Let's talk a little bit about the teams themselves. I believe this is the first time the Cheetos have been on stream, correct?
I think it might be, yeah.
And then the Coral Crew, they were on stream yesterday. They are a Purdue-based team, so all of them are currently enrolled Purdue University students representing the Boilermakers. Boiler up. I have to put that in there. But I mean, also not to forget the Cheetos, who are leading the set 1-0 right now. They have some fantastic players from the community that are very familiar with this game, who are very familiar with just basic mechanics and the meta, and also are big contributors to the community. All right, yeah, that being said, we are moving into Game 2, Rainmaker Sturgeon, a classic from Splatoon 2. Let's check out these rosters.
Yeah, we see some very similar stuff coming out, but we see the Clash Blaster, actually. A really interesting pick that I think we haven't seen that much. It's like a funny, weird weapon that's even Blaster players, I think, don't play that much.
Right, exactly. I don't think we see that very often here. Yeah,
I'm not going to talk too much about the weapons, but I think it's a really interesting pick, especially for this map. Even in Splatoon 2, that was an option that get picked off. See, that's Plan B on that Flingza roller, able to hold down that snipe. A really good job there, and looking to try and get a flank going. But the Rainmaker doesn't care about that flank. They go the other direction, take it straight to the pedestal, and that's the checkpoint broken. Already a strong lead coming out for Cheetos.
That was a great play by the Cheetos, not going with the typical standard push that you'd see in Sturgeon. Most players would take the top left into the far left where there's the elevation where that checkpoint is. They took all the way over to the right, which is very uncommon for Splatoon 2. But we're in the Splatoon 3 meta now, so that can change. You can push from anywhere at this point as long as you make that checkpoint.
Absolutely. It's a game all about momentum and quick decision making. They saw there was someone left, they went right, and they were able to take advantage of that and get some good coins. Here comes that push in the top left, just like you said. The Rainmaker comes up here, unable to move forward just yet because there's that bridge up. In case you didn't know, weird thing that's new to Splatoon 3, on some modes like this one, when you take it into the top left, that bridge comes down. So when you get up there, it'll take a second before it comes down, and that's how you get those extra points up there. There's another checkpoint if you wanted to take it that way instead. But for now, a pretty strong push coming out. 48, going to be pretty hard to contest. Pretty good. Going to be pretty hard to contest as already Coral Crew finding themselves on the back foot, needing to back all the way into their court, and really is just having a hard time holding down their snipe.
Right, exactly. We're talking about the pacing here of this match, and Cheetos are able to just set it the way that they wanted to, whether they were stalling up at top left or now making a quick push here right straight heading for the podium, just missing the ramp, being stopped by that crab tank from the Coral crew. I mean, they've been in full control in the driver's seat since this match has started, and we're already halfway through and already about to make it to the podium.
Yeah, thankfully they are able to clear off Slimy in that last one there. If you don't clear off that last member, Super Jumps will come in and the push will just continue onward. So that kind of reinforces how important it is to clear out the entire enemy team, keep eyes on them at all times. That Crab doing a great job from Cosmos, locking down the mid. Crab is so hard to dislodge. Once they get set up, you can't really move. And just look at how difficult it is for Coral Crew to get into that middle. Cheetos Crunchy Cheese is just locking down this middle area. The Sploosh coming out, the hammer throw, not quite able to get a kill, but the Sploosh-O-Matic being a really fast weapon that you're able to just kind of sneak around and get some picks. And we actually see the Ninja Squid coming out from them as well, which hides your swimming in the ink, which is a particularly strong in Splatoon 3 right now.
Right, exactly. We see how succinct the Cheetos have been just in this push alone, how they were able to mobilize as a unit and prevent any movement from the Coral crew, because there's just no ink for the Coral crew to move around in. The Cheetos, the pressure that the Cheetos exert with their paint is just so strong. This is finally the moment, the chance in this game where the Coral crew has actually had control of mid and have had the chance to bring in the Rainmaker. Great stop there from Slimy as they duck in onto the underground side of the bridge here. Takes a trade from Plan B, and we're kind of back in this neutral situation on both sides with a player advantage for the Cheetos with a minute left in this match to go.
Yeah, you see that high ground there, the bridge that keeps going up and down to the snipe. That's such an important area on this map because it is the high ground. You can rain down paint on the enemy's side of the map, and I think that's a really important area that Coral Crew could have taken advantage of there. Here comes the hammer around the right side. They're moving forward. It helps paint a path. Are they able to do anything with that bow? They push them back, and it's just going to stall that Rainmaker back in mid. That's all they need in order to lock out this game from Coral Crew here. But already 2 down coming out of Cheetos here, and this is an opportunity.
This is the great opportunity. Great teamwork on the side of the Coral Crew with Warm Monk and Dynamo taking down a key member there from their special. We do see Slimy playing some great defense and getting control back of mid. The Crab Tank does not see Slimy in the mid there, backs up from the missiles, and you'd think Coral Crew would have that opportunity, but they're now 2 down with 1 coming back from spawn and 10 seconds left on the clock. So much green paint on the ground, the Cheetos might walk away with this one.
Yeah, they're just going to hold down that area, make sure nobody gets too close to the Rainmaker, and lock out that game too. Some very strong showings coming out from Cheetos here.
Agreed. I think just again, how succinct and synergized they are with their pushes. They're very well coordinated, which is crucial for any Splatoon objective-based game, right? No matter the type of mode you're playing, whether it's Rainmaker or TC, having that synergy and that coordination when having an objective like that has been playing them off very well.
Yeah, I think something that's really interesting about Splatoon is 2 of the modes, which would be Rainmaker and Clam blitz, have very non-linear pushing. Tower moves along a set path, Zones is in the same place all the time, but you saw how they took the Rainmaker. They took it far right to get to the checkpoint, they took it top left to get some extra points, and then they took it through the middle to get even more points. And it's basically just all based on where your enemies are positioning, and it's based on, you know, spur-of-the-moment decisions and things that are happening around you. And I think that's something that's really cool about this game.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I mean, think about the creativity part of it too. I mean, you get to literally be creative with how you want to direct your push. I think a lot of players from Splatoon 2 have been pretty just upset with how very monotonous this Splatoon meta was back in Splatoon 2 because there wasn't any uniqueness. There isn't a lot of variance in how you were to take an objective. Like you said, the Rainmaker, it's very non-linear, which means you can take it in any which direction you want as long as you make the checkpoints, but you can get there however way you wish. There isn't really a set path. Same with Clam blitz as well. I think just having that non-linearity has been crucial for, I guess, the growth of these players and their knowledge in this game.
Yeah, and even on Rainmaker, like you said, there's 2 checkpoints. You only need to go to one of them. So, you know, you could fake to go to one and go to the other. Usually they're on different sides of the map. So there's really a lot going on. You can push very slowly, You could push very quickly after you get a couple picks. There's just a lot of options coming out here. And
Right.
like we said, we talked about Clam Blitz. Clam Blitz, Inkblot Academy coming up next. So we saw Sturgeon Shipyard, and now we see Inkblot Art Academy. Those are both Splatoon 2 maps. Here we go. Clam Blitz. You need to pick up all of the clams. That makes a power, and then you can open the basket. You're essentially having a little collect-a-thon around the map, and then you toss it into the enemy, or take it into the enemy base to score.
What's going to be interesting is that since it's a Splatoon 2 map, we're going to see people having more familiarity because there hasn't been much modifications to the map specifically. So how these players, they're probably going to be more familiar and kind of gravitate towards a familiar play style from what they're used to in Splatoon 2. We're kicking off the first 20 seconds of the match with 3 players down total on the side, and 2 on the side of the Coral Crew. Slimy being aggressive with a Clash Blaster himself.
Yeah, we saw the Clash Blaster coming up from Coral Crew last game, but here Slimy is actually making some good use out of it. Clash having that annoying hitbox, rapid fire rate, able to hit people around corners. It's definitely a really good option on maps that are very blocky, and Inkblot Art Academy is one of them. So here's that Charger set up on that left stack, getting a nice pick and able to back off in time to dodge the Inkzuka. One trying to flank around that side, but not quite time to flank yet, as multiple members of Coral Crew are set up and waiting for it. But nonetheless, they're backed up pretty far into their base.
I have to point out the reason why the Coral Crew is so backed up, or one of the reasons, is Red's aggressive E-leader play. I mean, the E-leader sitting on these stacks is such a huge pressure point for Coral Crew. How are they going to move around the map when they have the E-leader eye-line sight just targeting them? It's going to be a massive threat, and if Coral Crew wants to stand a chance in this match, they're going to have to find a way to get rid of that E-leader and get the other players of the Cheetos moving around.
Yeah, you can see that basket is still being guarded by all 4 members of the Coral Crew, and this is a situation where you need to get in and take out multiple members. Satan rushing in and trying to get a pick. They had that hammer, but they were not able to get anything out of it. Oh my goodness, I can't believe they survived that Zuka shot. Either way, still a very neutral situation. Despite the fact that Coral Crew's backed up, it's still 0-0. Both teams are still holding their ground just fine, and this could change in an instant.
Great defense still on the side of the Coral Crew, utilizing that Try-Zuka as a hope for an answer to get rid of the E-leader. Got them moving at least, and it seems that helped a little bit, create a little bit more space to utilize here. We see a couple of members go down on each side, but it looks like the Cheetos are going to come out of that battle on top here. 2.5 minutes left to go, and we are still in a very neutral situation with no baskets popped.
Yeah, this is not a normal situation on this map. This is a pretty regular scoring Clam Blitz map here. 7 clams coming in. Not a power just yet, but a very nice pick. 1 down, 2 down. That's going to open the way. A third going down, but they didn't miss the power clip. It sounded like they did for a second there. They do score it, and they have a couple extra clams to follow up. Here comes the tough part. Once you get the basket open, you need to balance scoring and getting picks, and that's a really tricky thing to do. The basket is going to close before it gets too bad, so not too big a push needed in order to make this comeback for Coral Crew. So they do have a chance in this situation. It all depends on whether or not they can clear out that Clash Blaster. And they just do that right there. This is their opportunity to move up. Inkzuka not quite able to get a pick, but here we go. Last minute and a half, and this is a big chance for Coral Crew.
This is the big momentum shift because not many clams were scored. That was just a ball and a couple of clams. So with 15 clams total on the side, 12 now on the side of the Coral Crew, there is a chance in numbers to potentially take back the lead. However, it looks like they're still kind of waiting for something to happen. With a member down, not enough specials to move in. They're just playing the waiting game right now because they have nothing to move in with.
Yeah, a quite unfortunate push came out just a little bit before they were ready to follow up on it. But nonetheless, it seems like they're doing a good job staying alive. A jump to stay alive is going to help Coral Crew maintain that pace of the game. Trade coming out there as well. But Cheetos Crunchy Cheese has been holding down the middle of the map this entire game. And I think some flanks are really what Coral Crew needs in order to make something out of this situation.
Right, exactly, because at this point, the Coral Crew has been just stuck on their plat, playing defense and just basically trying to just hold them back the entire time. We see 2 go down, and the basket popped by the Cheetos Crunchy Cheese. Rainmaker out, hoping to score with the ball, but just getting stopped right by the hump there. 2 down on the side of the Cheetos, and now this is Coral Crew's chance. 3 down, specials up, tactical activated, 15 seconds left. They have got to move.
Yeah, the soda coming out, going to provide quick respawn, so that means it's time to act. They need to do something now. The Zuka not able to find a pick. The Whale's going to move the Charger, though. Here comes Satan. They're going to get taken out.
Oh my
it's
God.
only 2 power clams needed to take the lead. Here comes a flank on the right side. 2 go down for Coral Crew. 3 down. There's only 1 left with the Clam. They need to do something, and they're not able to. Cheetos gets the wipeout and is going to win this set 3-0.
Wow. I thought we were ready to see a potential overtime comeback win on the side of the Coral Crew because of how almost perfectly they set up. But like you pointed out, someone, I couldn't tell. I think it was either Satan with the sploosh or I don't think it was Slimy. I think it was either, I think it was Satan or Slimy actually. They came in right with another flank, and I don't think they expected that. I think they were just expecting them all to huddle into plat and just hold their ground. And I think the flank caught them by surprise, and all of a sudden,